Artem Chigvintsev is asking for spousal support. Do you think he qualifies for a spousal support? And this is what the law says regarding spousal support or alimony. There are many different types of spousal support. Your state may have different names for each, but the following will give you a general idea of what might be available. Rehabilitative alimony, a court awards. This during a transitional period while the lower-earning spouse is going back to school or is undergoing career training that will increase their earning capacity. This is short-term support until the spouse becomes self-sufficient and meets their financial needs. Often a judge will look at the duration of the marriage when deciding how long the support payments will continue. Reimbursement alimony. This alimony repays one spouse for their contributions to the marriage. Often, one spouse will have supported the other while they attended school or training to increase that spouse's income. This spouse may have even paid for training and higher education costs. One spouse may have stayed home to raise the family and care for the home instead of pursuing a career. This form of spousal support helps to balance the benefits the ex-spouse received from that support. Temporary alimony. A judge may order spousal support while the divorce process is ongoing. A judge can order this as part of a legal separation agreement. Temporary support is usually terminated once the divorce is final or a new support agreement exists. Permanent alimony. The court orders this type of award when one spouse cannot work or support themselves due to age or disability. If there are children whose needs make it difficult for the parent to work to cover their living expenses, the court may grant them spousal support. It is not necessarily permanent. Spousal support will stop once certain conditions are met, such as remarriage or death of the supported spouse. Lump sum alimony. A judge may order a support award in one lump payment. The ex-spouses may also decide on a lump sum instead of monthly payments. Alimony laws differ by state. Unlike child support, which is mandated according to very specific guidelines, courts have a lot of leeway in determining whether to award spousal support. If ordered, the family law judge will decide how much and for what amount of time. The Uniform Marriage and Divorce Act, on which many states' spousal support statutes are based, recommends that courts look at the following factors when deciding on alimony awards: the age, physical condition, emotional state, and financial situation of the former spouses, the length of time the recipient would need for education or training to become self-sufficient, the couple's standard of living during the marriage, the length of the marriage, the ability of the payer spouse to support the recipient and still support themselves. Unlike child support, which has occasional cost of living increases, an alimony order tends to stay the same from year to year, even if the ex-spouse has a significant increase in taxable income or receives large bonuses at work. The former spouse will not benefit from that increase like a child might with an increase in support. Can we modify the alimony amounts? Absolutely. You will need a court order for any change. Either spouse can request a modification of a support order if there has been a material change of circumstances. That could be a paying party's job loss, new disability, or a receiving party's higher paying job. Alimony awards may be hard to estimate, but gauging whether the payer spouse will follow a support order is even harder to predict. Spousal support enforcement is not like child support enforcement, which has the teeth of wage garnishment, liens, and even arrest, because a court can order alimony. The mechanisms available for enforcing any court order are open to a former spouse who's owed alimony. What if my ex-spouse fails to pay the alimony order? The alimony recipient can return to court in a contempt proceeding to force payment. In some states, garnishment of wages or other penalties is possible. In the past, most alimony awards were for former wives from breadwinning former husbands. Now that most marriages include two wage earners, women are less dependent. More men may be primary parents to minor children while the wife works. Courts and spousal support awards have kept pace. Orders of alimony payments from ex-wife to ex-husband are on the rise. A court may order spousal support regardless of whom has child custody. Spousal support trends are also changing due to the U.S. Supreme Court's 2015 Obergefell v. Hodges decision to legalize same-sex marriage. Same-sex married couples have the same rights and privileges as any married couple. Courts award spousal support under the same guidelines, regardless of the sexes of the married couple. Now back to our initial question. Do you think that Artem Chigvintsev will be granted a spousal support?